Welcome into Bills Tonight Digital, presented by Hunt Real Estate, the official real estate and relocation company of the Buffalo Bills. And with Week 4, the Bills turn it out with a win, 30-23. They go on to 4-0 in the season, the first time since 2008. Also another 30-point game for the Bills, so that marks 3 straight games for the first time since 2011 that they have scored 30 points. A lot to discuss, a lot to dive into, a lot of positives from their 4th game. I'm Maddy Glab, I'll be your host, and I'd like to welcome in our Bills legend and former Bills offensive lineman, Eric Wood. Eric, after watching this game, I mean, another 30-point game that we saw the Bills put up, a lot of positives from offense, and we did see some positives from the defense today. At times it was slow, but at times they got involved. We saw 2 turnovers from the Bills defense. So after watching this game, what are some of the moments that stick out to you most from this Bills win?
Yeah, defensively, I thought they were optimistic. I really thought it should have been 3 forced turnovers today. The one where Derek Carr was in the pocket, the whistle hadn't blown. Now, you can't challenge that because you can't challenge a play that was blown dead for forward progress. There'd be no way of overturning it, but I thought it should have been 3. And that was a great job by the Bills defenders, Jefferson and Norman in particular, in playing aggressive, going after the football and forcing turnovers. The Bills did force 1 punt defensively that Andre Roberts made the Raiders pay for. And then offensively, they were sharp pretty much the whole day. The first drive coming out of the second half, they stalled. But other than that, they were really effective the whole day. They stayed aggressive. They made a ton of plays through the air. And the Bills fans can still be excited about what Brian Daboll, Josh Allen, and the rest of the crew is doing offensively.
Yeah, we almost saw Josh Allen have another 300-yard day. He settled for 288, but I'm totally okay with that because it ended up being a win for the Bills. Speaking of the Bills defense, one of those players who forced a turnover was Josh Norman. It was his first game as a Buffalo Bill being activated off the IR. So let's hear what Josh Norman had to say about his first game as a Buffalo Bill.
Josh Norman, Mookie Harkins, Buffalo Sports 1080. How you doing?
I'm good. How's everything?
Everything is good, man. It was good to finally see you out there in action, man. So tell us, how good was it for you to finally get out there on the gridiron today?
Hey, look, man, I had a rough start. I don't think it was rough, I think God, he was allowing me to really just take a moment to understand and see what's all going on. I knew I couldn't, physically get out there, but I was with the guys mentally. And I think that really what carried me through this game. I was a little rusty at first. I didn't think I would be, but I definitely was. And just get my feet back, under me and settling in, and just being but don't break mentality kind of thing, and waiting for my opportunity to come, and it came, and it felt good to be back out there with my teammates. I think those guys are some special guys.
Now, we always talk about, our fundamentals will carry us through, but ball instincts as well is an important factor. So take us to your instincts to punch that ball loose at that moment in time to really, shift momentum.
The guys really invited me to the party. It was one of those things. They was having a pizza party, and I was like, well, shoot, I'm knocking on the door. Y'all not gonna let me in? So I had to kick it down. But no, it was fun. I think that, going through that play earlier, Waller, I came over on him and I tried to get him the first time, and he just shrugged me off, like a big 6'6" guy would do if you don't wrap up. And I was actually going for the ball then, but his momentum pushed him forward, and I just slipped off of him. And I was just shaking my head like, ugh, kind of pissed off about it. Those plays don't happen. At least I get a tackle, but then I bide my time, and, I was able to see him in the flats again, and somebody was there to tackle him. And I know he always liked to get extra yardage. So when I came in, I just went for it with my left hand and just struck it, and it popped. And I didn't, I thought somebody was going to get it around me, but nobody was there. So I just crawled to it and tried to cuff it, and then noticed nobody still was getting me. So I just got up, and then they finally got me. But I heard Big Ed come over there like, get up, Gino, get up. And so, that kind of ended the play. But I don't know, Coach was actually, saying, "Man, somebody make a play, make a play." And I was like, you know what, I'll make a play. I had my old TO mindset in that thing. But those guys, they all, hungry and they ready to go out there and make something happen. And I'm glad we did that thing as a collective unit.
As long as you keep bringing the pizza to the party, everybody's going to party. So great win out there, Josh.
I appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Josh, Heather Prusak here from the CBS station. Congrats on the win. Good to see you out there. Just mentally, how tough was that for you mentally, coming to a new team and then you get hurt and you can't play for the first 3 games? Just kind of describe the mental hurdles you had to go through.
Well, that was just, like I said earlier, the mentality of it just never, got out the game, but just the physical part of it, and my body, I wasn't able to do that, and I was just praying about it and, asking God, like, when this opportunity comes, just, we're going to make the best of it. And I was thanking him for the opportunity just to be out there, because injuries like that, you kind of go through what guys go through and kind of, feel their pain in a sense when you on IR. I just was really working myself hard twice a day just to get back these guys. And, I was able to do that this week. I got called up, so we was able to get out there and get our feet wet a bit. And then finally we was able to make something happen for our ball team club. And that's literally what I always wanted to do when I first got here anyway. Destiny is all I want. And we still got some more games to go. And right now we got a nice little cushion, so we just got to keep going forward with it and seeing what we can do. But I'm super glad, to be back out here with these guys. I don't think it's a better ball group than this team that I'm on right now.
Thanks, Josh.
Thank you.
Hey, Josh, Marcel with ESPN. Couple questions. First of all, how influential has Charles Tillman been on your career? Because I think we saw that peanut punch come from. Yeah.
Look, Peanut, me and him, we played together at Racket 15. It's Steve Wilkes. I'll take it from there. Steve Wilkes always, was preaching it. Punch out. And it never really registered with me until Peanut came to the ball club. And he was, this all-world guy at punch outs. And my competitive drive is, I'm going to beat that guy out at this. His very own technique. I'm going to steal it, I'm going to take it, and I'm going to put it in my arsenal, put it in my bag. If I can't get you in the air, I'm going to get you on the ground. So the mentality was always, when somebody was, running the ball or running it to me, I would go for it and I would strike at it. Because I saw him do it, and it was just like, okay. So, shoot, this is how we going to do it. Put a little flair to it. And so I just always kept it with me in my arsenal. Even when I was in Washington, I just, it comes out. If I can't get it in the air, I'm going to get it on the ground. One of the two, you're not going to be able to avoid me. So I think that just the ball mindset of making a play wherever it is just enhanced me. And, just a guy like that pushing and being, motivated to actually do something in that arena, in that area. So, he's a dog for sure.
And to follow up,
Great to see Josh Norman healthy and making plays in his debut game as a Buffalo Bill. Another Josh who was out there making plays is Josh Allen. He completed 67% of his passes for 288 yards, 2 touchdowns. So let's send it over to Josh and hear what he had to say after the win.
Nice job today. Question I had for you just right off the bat here. The shot play that Dable called for you after Norman forced the fumble. I don't know, it kind of reminded me of the Pittsburgh game when you guys took that shot play after Renegade, but maybe just speak about the aggressiveness that Dabes feels more than comfortable putting you in and how good it felt to kind of hit that thing because Diggs made a play for you too.
Yeah, that's complimentary football. The defense did a great job of forcing turnover there, and we're glad to have Jano back on the field, and for him just to kind of give us an opportunity to go make a play. And I'm shooting myself in the foot. I could have let him a little more, but I gave him a chance, and he made one heck of a grab and put us in position to score a touchdown. That's what we did.
And then, I know sometimes Dave's has a few extra words for you when he kind of sends that play into you. Did he have anything special on that call, or he said, just hit this one? Or
he just called the play and trusted me to read it out.
Thanks, Josh.
Hey, Josh, Sal Mayer on in Rochester. Look, first of all, how's the shoulder?
It's good. It's good.
What happened on the play? It looked like you got twisted and then landed on the left shoulder, and then you were shaking it out. What was where was the pain?
Yeah. I mean, I just kind of landed on it a little funky, and it's the left shoulder. It's not the right one. Thank God, but it'll be all right. It's no big deal. Got to play through the pain. And we'll get some treatment on it probably this week, but it shouldn't inhibit anything.
Okay, and one last thing. Can you just talk about, Chris already asked you about the Diggs play, but it seemed like just about every throw you made today ended up being a really key play. I mean, it just seemed like guys were making great catches for you and your ball was on target. Just the importance of the precision that you guys have had for the first 4 weeks.
Well, I mean, it's a lot of trust that goes into it, and our guys have been busting their tail in practice, and my job is just give them an opportunity to go make a play, and that's what we've been doing on a regular basis, and we got to continue to keep that up and continue to keep working hard and keep getting a good look from our scout team. And as long as our games, as long as our practices are just as hard as our games, I think we're doing things the right way. And Coach McDermott does a great job of setting up our practices. And again, I can't give our guys enough credit about how much they want to work when we're in practice, and you're seeing dividends pay off right now.
Okay, thanks, Josh.
Hey, Josh Reed here in Buffalo. It seems like every week when you look at the stats after the game, you're looking at 8 or 9 different receivers catching passes. What does that say about the depth and talent that you have to throw the ball to?
No, I mean, it's kudos to our front office for bringing the guys that we brought in. But it takes more than just picking the right guys. It's the guys coming in and working hard, and it's the leadership that we have in this facility, organization, top down. It's something special here in Buffalo, and we got to keep continuing to find new ways to get better. But our guys are just making plays. They want it, and it speaks volumes about the type of men that we have in this locker room, and how much they're willing to sacrifice to win football games, and it's a good feeling.
One more for you, the Cole Beasley touchdown when he gets flipped upside down. What was your vantage point from the end of that play, kind of watching it develop?
Well, I mean, I saw him just kind of wide open. I just tried to throw it in there really hard, and the ball got a little high on me, but he made one heck of a catch there. And first time for him this season touching the paint, so it's always good to get a guy in the end zone. And he's been crucial for our success here the last couple of years. And he's just a guy that it's hard to guard him. He's a very smart player. He wants the ball. He's always ready when his number's called too. And he was dealing with a little injury, and he fought through it. And it just speaks volumes again on just the team first aspect. Guys are willing to go out there and put on for their team.
Thanks, Josh. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Hey, Josh, John Scott. I was curious, like 3-point shooters, they say when they're hot, it looks like the hoops, the ocean, you're thrown into the ocean. Where is the confidence level for you and the offensive unit through 4 games?
I think we're fairly confident in what we got going on here. And again, Coach Dable's calling a great game, and we're going out there and executing. And again, I bring it back to my guys here that just continue to work hard and practice and find new ways to get better, watching film the right way, and playing for each other out there. It takes 10 other guys executing on every single play to have success. And, I thought our defense, again, played fantastic, in the second half, especially forcing turnovers and allowing us to get points off turnovers. And, I'm still kicking myself in the foot for taking that sack instead of throwing the ball away. And, I think that's one decision that, I wish I had back this game. But, again, our guys we're just working hard, and it's paying off.
Appreciate it, Josh.
Okay, good. You're up. All right, we're gonna go to Mookie.
Josh Allen, Mookie Hawkins, Waffle Sports 1080. Great win out there today. How you doing, man?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. 4-0, man. You feel like a kid in the candy store, man, with all the weapons that you have at any given moment, man. Anybody can shine. So how confident is you in, knowing that any given moment when you deliver the ball, that guy can make a play?
I mean, it's a great feeling. It's awesome, the guys that we have here. I love our team. And again, it's just the leadership, the type of the guys that we have here. We just, we play as a team. We truly play for each other, and it's a great feeling when, guys are pulling for each other on the field. And things are rolling right now, and we understand throughout the year we're probably gonna hit some adversity at one point or another. So we got to continue to stay strong, stay together. But our guys just we love each other in Buffalo, and that's not going to change anytime soon.
Absolutely. Now, always coming out of that locker room, you guys has been up big. This time you guys were up by 4. Just going out and matching that intensity and Josh Norman making that big play. Just care to talk about how instrumental the defense was today.
No, they were great. Especially, that second half, forcing the turnovers, allowing us to move the ball. And again, I'm kicking myself, for that sack I took instead of throwing it away, making it a 3-possession game, and kind of making everybody at ease. But you talk about, a great vet in Jano and working through a hamstring deal throughout the first part of camp and, the first few games of the season. And he comes in and his immediate impact, he makes a play. We score, I think, a touchdown 4 plays later. And, it changed the entire direction of the game. And, for our defense to step up like that, it was huge. And, that's it's not anything I didn't expect. Our defense has been fantastic the last couple of years. And it was good. It was big.
Absolutely. Hey, you owe me push-ups for that Joshy Boucher moment, but nevertheless, y'all boys is 4-0. Safe travels, my guy.
Will do. Appreciate you.
Vic.
Uh-oh, can't hear you, Vic. I got no sound. Q, go to the next one.
All right. We're going to Jim Trotter. Sorry.
Hey, Josh. Yeah, congratulations. I'm curious, when initially you went down following that hit, was there any fear that it might be something more serious?
It was my left shoulder, so it didn't bother me too bad, and I knew, if it's the right shoulder, it's a different story. But knock on wood, it was the left shoulder, and I knew it wasn't collarbone right away, so it just kind of pain tolerance at that point.
But you went straight to the locker room, right, to have it examined?
Yeah, straight to the locker room, and again, it was right before halftime, and I just wanted to make sure everything was right, and it was, and just trying to come back and play for my team.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Yep. Thank you, guys.
Just gonna call it.
The quarterback press conference is presented by Energy Mark, the official energy supplier to the Buffalo Bills.
Eric, I think in all of the 4 games that we've seen this season from the offense and from Josh Allen, we learn something new about Josh Allen every game, or we see something new, or he does something that he hasn't done in years past. And what struck me today was his ball placement on so many receivers, where he just placed the ball perfectly. I mean, you think about that 49-yard reception to Stephon Diggs, which he didn't hit on last year. That pass to Cole Beasley in the end zone. That pass to John Brown in the end zone that was called back. That first touchdown pass to Gabriel Davis. I mean, it's just all placed perfectly this year, whereas in years past, they were overthrows or the receiver wasn't in the right spot. And it seems like everything's working in unison, even with a short off season. What do you see in the way that Josh Allen is throwing the ball and placing the ball this year versus years past? And also with the amount of receivers that he's targeting. 9 receivers caught the ball today. And in the games past, it's been at least 8 different players who have caught passes from him.
Yeah, I think Josh is doing a great job of hitting his receivers in stride, putting the ball on the money. One of the things that stands out to you when you watch the Bills on film this year is how wide open some of these guys are. And that's partially due to play calling. And Brian Daboll is doing a great job this year. We've noted it many times through our post-game assessments. And then also he's got guys that are winning versus man-to-man on the outside at an extremely high rate. And then guys are making contested catches for him, and it shows that he truly trusts those guys. To put a ball into double coverage like he did to John Brown on what I think all Bills fans would say should have been called a touchdown, that takes a lot of trust. for him to throw that ball in that tight window in the red zone to Cole Beasley, and all windows in the red zone are generally tight. For him to make that throw, it shows a lot of trust, and then it was a great catch as well by Cole Beasley. But a lot of the concern with Josh Allen coming into the NFL was the accuracy, and could he improve year to year? Well, I think we've seen that. We've seen a jump in completion percentage per year. We've seen a jump in decision making each year, and then it just seems like he's throwing a more accurate ball this year. And I think part of that's due to being comfortable in this offense. It's his third year with Brian Daboll and this crew, and then adding another receiver like Stephon Diggs. And so now you got 3 guys, and then when you add Gabriel Davis as well, 4 guys that he's got a ton of confidence in at wideout at this point.
Yeah, it's been so fun to watch through 4 games, to watch him connect with these receivers, to see the chemistry that he has in such a short amount of time, and to hear the confidence that all of them talk about. Well, let's relive some of those highlights from today's game and some of those touchdowns. Opening drive here. 3rd and 1 for the Bills. Allen dials one up wide to Gabriel Davis for a 26-yard touchdown. Bills up 7-0. Bills' second drive, Josh Allen throws it up to Cole Beasley, who flips over into the end zone. 14-3 Bills. Following a field goal from the Bills, Raiders drive down. Here's Jason Witten in the back of the end zone there. Josh Allen here throwing one up to John Brown, who makes a crazy catch. Unfortunately, it was called back. Josh sneaks one in, though, on the next play for a touchdown. Here is Darren Waller, who catches a pass, but Josh Norman punches it out. Bills take over. Next play, Josh Allen throws a bomb of a pass over to Steph Diggs, who goes up, gets it for 49 yards. And here we're seeing Singletary take it from 3 yards out 3 plays later, 30-16, just under 6 to play. Raiders driving Clinton Jefferson, strips Derek Carr and recovers it for the Bills. The Bills would win it, of course, 30-23. And Eric, I want to talk about the Bills defense because they've been slow at times in the last 3 games and have been ranked a lot lower than they had when you look at last year's defense to this year's defense. And we saw them come alive in the second half, I think, really for the first time all season. We saw 2 of those turnovers, turnover on downs as well, almost 3 turnovers, as we have already talked about. What was the difference in the second half? And I know you and I talked about the pressure that we thought they weren't putting on Derek Carr, especially on passing downs versus rushing down. So what lit the fire underneath the defense to cause them to play way different than the first half?
Yeah, I thought they had a couple timely turnovers that really saved the day for the Bills defense. And if they don't get those, we're talking about a much closer game at the end of the game. The Bills came into this game ready to stop the run. Josh Jacobs, the running back for Oakland, has been productive all this year and last year. Their offensive line was down a couple starters. Trent Brown, the really good tackle, is out. Richie's on the short-term IR. Richie Incognito, who I'm referring to. Sorry, I'll include his last name. Maybe not everyone's as familiar with him as I am. But they're out, those 2 guys. And the Bills hold Josh Jacobs to 3 yards per carry in the first half. That was a great win. Where I felt like they were struggling was getting to Derek Carr. And even with his top targets on the outside at wide receiver out, and you lose the speed of Ruggs to really stretch the field vertically, he still had some threats out there in Zay Jones and Nelson Aguilar, and then Waller, the tight end. We knew he was going to be a factor, and they just gave Derek Carr so much time back there. And Derek Carr is good enough to be able to pick you apart, and he did that at times. I thought in the second half they did a better job of rushing the passer, a couple timely blitzes, and maybe it's something they'll get to. Maybe it was the shortened preseason fall camp, I'll say, that they're not quite as far into their double A-gap pressure looks, that is, what you normally see from a Leslie Frazier, Sean McDermott defense. They're not giving a lot of those looks. A couple times today they got to the look where they put 7 guys across the line of scrimmage and make the offense guess at who's going to come on those plays. They did that a couple times today. They were able to generate some pressure, and they go out and they get Mario Addison in the offseason. to go opposite Jerry Hughes on pass rush situations. And those guys just aren't getting home at a high enough rate right now to rely on them down in and down out. I think it's time that they get back to some of that double A get pressure look and try and generate some pressure on the quarterback that way, because right now it seems to me that that's what's holding them back.
Sean McDermott is someone who's had to have been happy about how this defense played in the second half versus the first. So let's hear from Sean McDermott after today's game.
Hey, Coach, nice win. I just wanted to talk to you first and foremost about the stops by your D there in the fourth quarter. You know, getting 2 turnovers on fumbles and then the turnover on downs, especially maybe the spark that Josh seemed to infuse into the entire team, that punch out.
Yeah, I think the mentality changed in the second half, Chris, to your point. Leslie dialed up some good defenses in the second half, and the players responded. They really did. I mean, you mentioned a couple of the instances in particular. The fourth down stop was big for us, and then Q Jeff's sack fumble as well as Josh's. Josh has, really ignited the turnover situation there. So good to see. I'm really proud of the defense, the way they responded, with more work to do, obviously, for us as a team.
Thanks, Coach. Safe travels.
Okay, thanks, Chris.
Hey, Sean, Josh Reed, congrats on improving to 4-0.
Thanks, Josh.
How concerned are you with the third down efficiency on defense and getting the Raiders off the field?
Yeah, well, I mean, I thought they did a good job. I'll give them credit, but we got to do a better job. So I got to look at the film just to see exactly where it was. But we were trying to make some calls in there. They were out executing us, out operating us, and we didn't have the rush we needed. And so I thought we did a better job in the second half. Josh, to your point, and it's something that we have to continue to look at because we did have them in some third and longs in the first half there.
Josh Norman, first game as a Bill, makes a pretty good impact on the game, in particular that turnover. Did you kind of sense the momentum swing on that big play?
Yeah, and the mentality too, right? I mean, that's what part of what Josh brings to our team, our defense in this case. And when we can score points and we can take the ball away, you're tough to beat when you do that.
Thanks, Sean. Appreciate it. Safe travels.
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Josh.
Hey, Sean, John Scott. Similarly to that's the reason you brought Josh Norman on board. Are the grabs and impact that Stephon Diggs are making? Is this what you envisioned when that deal was made?
With you talking about with Diggs, you said?
Yeah, Stephon.
Yeah, I mean, you look, the one play that stands out, I mean, there's many of them, but the one where he went up down the middle of the field there with Josh through the post route and went up and got it in a contested ball situation, 50-50 ball, and it was clear. But he plays so strong. He's got that dog mentality, the attitude, and that rubs off on our football team. So I love that.
And is obviously his skill set, but that play, aside from the yardage it gains, what does it do for the mentality of the team and the momentum on the offensive side?
Yeah, I mean, again, the mentality, same with what Josh Norman brings to our team, right? That mentality, that dog mentality. I mean, it's highly competitive. Those two in particular are highly competitive young men that love to play the game. They're passionate about the game, and they let their personality show. That was great to see the fire,
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Sure.
Hey, Sean, congrats on the win.
Thanks, man.
Yeah. So I know you don't want to ever see this again, probably for the rest of the time that you're coaching Josh Allen, but to see him re-enter a game after a scary injury and still play at the high level that he was playing prior to the injury, including, going under all those big bodies for the touchdown. What does that say to you about him?
He loves to win. He's a competitor, man. He's a competitive sucker, and he loves to win. I can't say enough about him. I mean, he loves to play the game, loves to win, and he puts his heart, soul, and body into everything, in this game. I mean, why would you, as a teammate, how could you not love him, So we can play smarter in some situations, though, too. And I'm sure, we'll go back to work on that this week.
And one more, just in terms of he was talking to us about just the way he's seeing things. And I know John Scott asked a great question about a basketball player, you know, where it feels like the hoop gets larger when you're really dialed in and seeing the field. It's looking like that with him, seeing things so well. And I know it's work and it's harder than it looks, but he's making it look easier especially as a guy who knows defense, who comes from a defensive background like you. When you see the way he's doing things against what defenses are trying to do to stop him, how impressive has that been to you to date?
Yeah, and just early in year 3 at this point, right, Vic? So they're trying to throw a lot of different looks at him, and that just gives him good experience. I mean, we did that in training camp. Brian would tell you, Dable and Leslie Frazier would tell you, we went out of our way in training camp to make sure we gave him different looks, and that I think helped. But at the end of the day, you got to do it come game time. He's done that, and I think that the when the offense can be on the same page, right? That being that alignment is critical, right? That whether communication wise, execution, I mean, it's all important, Vic, as you know.
Thank you very much.
Sure.
Hey, Sean, Adam Bonini, WGRZ TV. I know you've just finished this game, but I'm sure you've been following the situation in Nashville, looking ahead to the Titans next week. How much concern do you have about that situation and the outbreak down there, and some of the decisions, how and when they get made as we look toward this week?
Yeah, I thought it was a mental challenge for our team. We were being asked about it, kind of the back third of our week last week, and the guys, they know who's next on the schedule, and to then come out here and focus like they did, I thought showed a lot. And then to your question, I'm concerned. I mean, when people are sick, we're concerned, whether it's a competitor or not. So we hope that everyone is doing okay on their end or improving. That said, I'm honestly, like you said, I'm just getting done this game, sitting in my locker with my luggage next to me here. So I'm sure I'll be, we've been monitoring it. Our operations people, Brandon and Beam as well, have been monitoring it. And I'm sure they'll brief me when I get on the plane as to where things are.
Thank you, Sean.
Sure.
Safe trip.
Thank you. Is that it? Good.
Sean McDermott's press conference is presented by Hunt, the official real estate and relocation company of the Buffalo Bills.
Coach McDermott, they're being very open and honest with what's ahead on the schedule, and it's a scheduled game against Tennessee Titans, but we know right now that there's a COVID outbreak on that team, so we'll see what happens in the next few days. They're, of course, going to proceed as if the game's happening because we haven't heard anything other that the game is still scheduled. But, Eric, when you look at a team in the Tennessee Titans, a talented team who got really hot last year and has another great running back on their team, and Derrick Henry has some talented wide receivers on their team as well, and we saw the Bills limit Josh Jacobs today. They only allowed 86 rushing yards, which is a great sign and an improvement there. But we did see them allow 88 yards to Darren Waller, their tight end, which has kind of been something the Bills defense has been struggling with. So when looking at how the Bills defense performed, their offense performed today, what are some things that need to get figured out, tightened up, worked on before they face a Tennessee Titans team who is going to be another tough opponent on the schedule?
Yeah, the Bills went down to Tennessee last year and beat a Titans team, which ended up being a very good road win for them, considering the Titans made a run for the Super Bowl. And after that game, they move on from Marcus Mariota. Ryan Tannehill comes in and ends up having a phenomenal year for them. They bring him back, and they're off to a 3-0 start. Their game this weekend postponed against the Steelers. Hopefully there's no more COVID outbreaks within the team. There's no more positive tests, and they're able to play this game. I cover ACC football as my other job, and we've seen throughout the conference that when it gets into a building, it can spread like wildfire. Virginia Tech had their season postponed 3 weeks and still had 23 guys miss their first game of the season and 19 missed the second game. I know the NFL really wants this game to be played next week because they already have one postponed game for the Titans, if they give them another postponed game, it's going to be really hard to schedule that in and figure that all out. So they're going to, hopefully this all gets resolved in these next couple of days. We'll proceed as normal. And the Bills get a very tough matchup against the Tennessee Titans. Where they need to get better in the next week is continue to separate from blocks and just do the fundamentals on defense. You heard Coach McDermott talk about a lot of it's alignment, assignment, technique, and you're going to get that a lot from Coach McDermott. But that's a guy who I put a lot of trust in, having played for him. So defensively, they're going to have to be sound against Derrick Henry, Ryan Tannehill, and the weapons that they have offensively.
Eric, thanks for the insight. Of course, Coach McDermott wants these guys to get back to the fundamentals, which is what we've heard the last couple weeks. So thanks for the time. We appreciate hearing from you and always enjoy it. If you want more analysis, more sound, more highlights, don't go anywhere. Just head to MSG at 11:30 because that's where Eric and I will be breaking down the game in an hour-long format. So you get a lot more of us. So come hang out, MSG 11:30. But thanks for joining us tonight, and we will see you all next week.